We're going to help you navigate Montreal if you only have a few hours to see it. Okay, so tip number 1 is see if you can come in the shoulder season. I am sure the summer will be a great time to come and see Montreal, but the shoulder season, it tends to be a little bit cheaper and it's not as busy. And so getting around is a little bit easier that way.
It is. And if you're not like people who really love being surrounded by a lot of people, that works really well for us.
It's cold outside, but the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night beneath the mistletoe. It's cold outside, 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 outside. It's cold outside, outside, outside. Cold outside,
Tip number 2, when you only have a little bit of time to see everything, you want to be right in the heart of all the action. So our hotel is right beside Notre Dame, Chinatown, and just a ton of cool historic buildings.
That's right. Which is why shoulder season works so well, because staying in the beautiful Embassy Suites is an amazing place to stay. We got a whole basically apartment with a giant bathtub and everything to be able to stay here, and it's like
the price that you would normally pay for just like a regular 2-queen bed hotel.
Yeah. And so we got a free continental breakfast, which was delicious, and nice, big, comfortable, beautiful room.
8
right
complimentary
downtown.
drinks downstairs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. They gave us complimentary drinks in the evening and everything. So great place to stay, nice and inexpensive in the shoulder season, and right in the heart of downtown.
That's right. Oh, and it came with parking.
Right.
Which is important in Montreal.
Very important because it can get expensive.
This is great for running.
So tip number 3 is know where you want to go and plan how you're going to get there. We didn't do this as well.
No.
We planned
Sadly.
where we wanted to go, but we did not plan on how we were going to get there. We are in the heart of Montreal. We only have a few hours, really 6 to 8 hours, to be able to explore this great city. And so we have a few places in mind to show you, and we're going to start with the Underground City, which is a system of various shops and the metro that goes across downtown Montreal. So let's go take a look. We thought it was supposed to rain all day. It didn't, thankfully, because we were going to try to use the Underground City to get around. That did not work out.
No.
It is very complicated down there.
Very tricksy.
Yeah.
If you're watching Montreal, more maps.
To go through the kind of underground city, but it's very complicated. So plan your route, use Google Maps, figure out if you want to walk or if you want to figure out the metro, do all those things before you come so you don't waste any time when you only have a few hours to spend here.
Yeah. And while you're doing all that planning, it brings me to point number 4, is have a bad weather plan.
Yeah.
Weather can change. Weather can get very wet or cold or whatever, especially in Quebec. So you want to make sure that you have a bad weather plan. What are you going to do if it rains? What are you going to do if it snows?
Those are our major tips on how you can see Montreal within a few hours, focusing on some of the key aspects of downtown Montreal. You're not going to experience it all, but you're going to experience a lot. What's in it? What is it made out of?
Well, it's like a sugar. Okay, so it's almost like a candy floss, but that doesn't melt very fast. Wrapped around like almost like a peanut butter crunch nougat. You put it in your mouth and the sugar dissolves, and you taste the peanut butter and the nougat, and it's really good.
I feel like it has like almost like a powdery thing that happens too, though. But yeah, it has like a powdery. Tastes actually very dry.
It does taste very dry.
Like it's very dry, kind of.
Yeah.
Feel too.
Tastes a little dragony.
Well, we're a little sad. We were supposed to go see the light show at Notre Dame here in Montreal, but it ended up getting canceled. I guess some technical difficulties. However, we still got to go in and see this beautiful, beautiful church. So, yeah, there is that for sure. And I mean, we will get refunded our tickets, which is good, but it's just, it would have been a really amazing. We were really looking forward to it as one of our kind of highlights here, but that's okay.
As Corbin pointed out, we did get to see 2 Notre Dames in one day.
We did. We started out in Quebec City this morning, and now we got to see one here in Montreal, and it's kind of neat because we also got to see Notre Dame in Paris. So we're seeing them all over the place. All right, so we have completed our tour around Montreal, and by completed I mean we have seen everything we can in the time that we had.
A tiny bit of time.
Yeah. We only got here yesterday afternoon, and of course, with kids, we really do have a limit of amount of time we can go be out and do all the walking around and doing all of the sightseeing. So, and today we have a long drive over into Ontario, so we don't have a bunch of time today either. We're going to talk about our experience in Quebec City versus Montreal. So we just came from Quebec City yesterday, and we are in Montreal now,
Yeah.
and
that video's up here.
Yeah. If you really only have a choice to go to one or the other, then this is an example. So we just want to help you make the choice of which city you might want to go see.
So for Amanda and I, Quebec City was our favorite of the two. It was like walking into a French colonial time machine. And you got to walk around and you saw all these beautiful buildings and all these streets that sort of just wound down the hills and all these like cute little shops and the smell of fresh baked goods and everything. Like it was just such a cool little spot. It felt safe. It was super clean and just like a history around every corner. Very much a small city feel, right? Like it's a city with like a small town charm. We kind of compare it to Victoria. If you've ever been to Victoria, BC, it has that kind of feel. Whereas Montreal is much more of a metropolis. Here in Montreal, it's definitely that kind of hustle and bustle of a city. Yeah, there's people sipping their coffees and there's people on their way to do something.
So Montreal feels very different to us. We would compare it a little bit to kind of Toronto. In its style. And so Corbin actually really enjoyed Montreal more. He saw it as a place that was just more active in its art and culture and things like that, which is very true. It would be a very contemporary place to come and visit.
Clearly, Montreal is sort of the financial center of Quebec.
Okay.
Like once you go a block over from where the hotel is, it's like just all these old bank buildings and their pillars are like huge.
And so really the cities are very different. It depends on what you're going for. One is kind of the quiet meandering through an old city.
So, and the other is like a concrete jungle full of culture and like sort of wonderful things that it provides and all the real things it provides.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
So, so very different, but both have amazing things that you can see within a day. If you feel like maybe you're here and it's a stop and you're wondering, should I stop there for a few hours or should I take the time to come to Montreal? Maybe you can do both in a few days, come to Montreal, go to Quebec City and make a whole trip of it. I think it would be it's worth seeing both for very different reasons. But if you could only visit one of these great cities, which would you pick? Tell us in the comments below. We hope this guide was helpful. Please subscribe and follow us every further mile.